trapped in my conscious. My trap is still bucking, we got all these hundreds. Hit up the whole pharmacist. We serve all the money, my shit at your body. You shot at my body. This guy keep on falling, the drugs I keep calling. They keep picking up for me.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Indeed Gaming here. I am in fact Mr. Indeed, and welcome to my channel. Please do like, share, and comment this video, and we are going to get right into it. Now, let me start this video by saying you just saw Podcast Now's little subscribe thing pop up there. He is a YouTuber. He is where I got this clip from. Please do visit his channel, like, share, and subscribe to him. He is a good YouTuber, and I watch his videos regularly. Now, what we are looking at here, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen, is a project that one person is making, apparently, called Undefeated. Basically, he is making a superhero game with this particular character's powers obviously being modeled after Superman, and it's sparked a conversation that I wanted to get in on. And that is the idea that most people seem to have. It's a conversation I've seen had often, that a Superman game is either impossible to do or that it is extremely difficult to do. Now, I will not speak on how difficult it is because I am not a game developer, so I have no idea. But the idea that a Superman game is impossible to do, that one I will speak on, because that to me is beyond ridiculous. Superman, he's not as powerful as people like to think he is. At least he's not portrayed that way. Let me explain. This is no longer Superman. The Superman that you're seeing right now, this is no longer Superman, or I should say, this is extremely rarely Superman. This is like not Superman 95 to 98% of the time. Most of the time, at least now, this is Superman. This is what happens to Superman most of the time. Point being, it is very rare that Superman actually flexes his muscles in a "I am more powerful than you, there's nothing you can do about it" way. And it seems like that's almost how people feel about his character. I think people are so used to the old idea of Superman being so OP and so powerful that it didn't matter what he was up against. That is not how Superman is portrayed anymore. Even when sometimes he is more powerful than somebody, that is not how he's portrayed. For instance, I've seen Superman go from bench pressing the weight of the earth for 5 days straight with no sunlight. And then a few months later, I see him getting beat up by Ultra Humanite in a fist fight. Someone who probably isn't strong enough to even lift up a humpback whale or something like that. Superman is a extremely nerfed character compared to what he used to be nowadays. At this point, Superman is typically used as a stepping stone to make other characters seem more powerful. Superman probably gets beat up more than everybody in the Justice League. The only people in the Justice League that I am actually surprised when they lose a fight is Batman and Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman, even when she loses, somehow she wins. And Batman, even when he loses, no, you were wrong, somehow he won still. And I think that people need to acknowledge that fact. I don't see it acknowledged much that Superman in comics, for the most part, is a joke compared to what he used to be. Superman at this point is just somebody who's pretty strong, but he can also fly and he can shoot heat vision. Most of the time, you wouldn't be able to tell that Superman is stronger than Aquaman. Sorry, you wouldn't. Another argument that I hear about a Superman game that will be difficult is how would regular enemies, how do regular humans, I should say, hurt him? Well, that's just the thing. One, he doesn't actually have to fight only regular humans. And two, his arch nemesis in that city, Metropolis, is Lex Luthor, arguably the smartest human on the planet. Obviously, there's an argument towards Batman or Mr. Terrific, but Lex Luthor, arguably the smartest human on the planet, it's like he could easily flood the streets with red sunlight guns, obviously one of his weaknesses, or synthetic kryptonite guns, obviously one of his weaknesses. Like, there's ways that you can come up for regular enemies to be able to hurt him. And obviously, he gets knocked around by robots. He gets knocked around by other people who just happen to have super strength all the time. And he wouldn't be the first character that we've seen that is extremely strong get nerfed in combat. For example, if you're playing God of War 4, I'm sure a lot of you know that game. Kratos is fighting enemies that a lot of them probably don't weigh over 300 pounds. And when he's swinging with all what looks like all of his strength, he's barely moving them. And then later on in the game, he's moving an entire bridge that is probably like 2 or 3 miles long and is like solid gold or metal or something like that. It's like, he wouldn't be the only person. And I think one of the things that they should also do with this game, if they ever made this game, is just make sure that he's fighting enemies that matter to him. And when I say matter, the enemies that actually measure up, that make sense. You have Parasite, you have Wraith, you have Hell, you have Mongol, you have Darkseid, you have Doomsday, you have Brainiac, you have General Zod, Fiora. Like, there's a plethora of enemies that Superman have that can actually fight him in a fist fight. And obviously, these aren't going to be the only enemies. But could you do a invasion with General Zod where he has some Kryptonians with him? Maybe just like the Man of Steel movie, where they're not necessarily used to the yellow sunlight like he is, so the weaker ones don't have heat vision and frostbite, but maybe some of the stronger ones do. Yes, they could do that. Could they do a Brainiac invasion where some of his robot army have been seen to hurt him before, but he also has different avatars for himself, Brainiac, that again can hurt Superman? Yes, they could do that as well. Does Mongol have World and a planet full of warrior aliens that Superman has had to fight and been hurt by before? Again, yes. There are people, or there are not, there are more people. There are villains and henchmen of villains that have been seen to hurt Superman before, so it's possible. Another argument I hear is controlling the speed of his flight. There's a game called DC Universe Online. When you first start off, say you choose the flight transportation route, which obviously Superman would have. You have a regular fly, and then you have a sprint fly, which is faster. But when you hit level 10, I believe, it's been a while since I played the game, but when you hit level 10, you can double tap the sprint button, so then you have basically a third speed to your flight. Could they do something like that with Superman? Most certainly. There's also the conversation about how would his fighting style in air be. We can't pretend like we don't have games like Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse or Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi where there is fighting in the air. Now, obviously, if you're looking at something like Xenoverse, the combat in the air definitely leaves some to be desired, but to be fair, Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 3's fighting in the air looked better, in my opinion. It's like, but they can do these things. Like, these things are not things that haven't been done. If you're fighting a weaker enemy, do you want your Superman to charge up a really strong punch and, punch a regular human as hard as he can and send them flying? Definitely not. But I would say that there's different ways that you could program something like that. Again, I'm not a game dev, but it's like if you're fighting a human, maybe even they could have a system into the game where you do have attacks like that are much stronger than you would typically use on a stronger enemy. But they could have something kind of like an honor system where if you do, you know, something like that to a regular human, it kind of puts you in a dishonor mode. I don't know how to describe it right now, but I guess the point that I'm trying to get across is that this is not Superman. The Superman that you're seeing right now is never, I'm going to say not never, but it's almost never Superman. It's very rare that Superman does something like this. And even this, he's holding back. You can come up with a Superman game where he has a good amount of enemies to fight that are actually strong enough to fight him, where it's not difficult. It's not something that you have to stretch to believe. Obviously, like I said, you have, you could have like regular humans having red sunlight guns. You could have them having synthetic kryptonite guns that aren't real kryptonite, but they have a similar effect on them. It's possible, I guess is my point. There's definitely been way more outlandish things done in games before. But I would say, if I was to do a game like this, the majority of the things that Superman fights wouldn't actually be regular humans. And luckily, Superman has a plethora of non-human enemies that can actually hurt him. The game is not impossible. It's not even, to me anyway, an argument. It's never been an argument. Like when I saw that people were having these discussions, personally, I didn't understand it. Maybe it's because Superman to them is, this character. But to me, he hasn't been for a while now. I like it when he's that character. But it's just a rare thing. Part of Superman's character is that he holds back. Part of Superman's character is a lot of times that he takes damage that he doesn't actually have to take. So I hope that Warner Brothers execs do let their team work on a Superman game. I hope that if they do work on a Superman game, or if hopefully I could say, if they are working on a Superman game, it's something that's taking from my idea. Let me not say taking from my idea, obviously, because they wouldn't know my idea, but it's similar to my idea. He has a good amount of enemies that he can fight. They can do it. I don't want to ramble too much, because I will. But I guess the point is, they can do it. Don't listen to any arguments that anyone tells you that they can't. If anybody has an argument that they can't, please let me know. I will make a video directly responding to it. If you have a comment disagreeing with me, please put it below. We can talk about it. I can come up with any reason, any way that they can make this game. It's not impossible. He's not too strong. But, okay. I'm done. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna end this video here, guys. Please do comment, share, and like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Indeed.